Hey, what's up everybody? Michael here, and today I wanted to provide an update on this story that I posted about yesterday, which was titled From CSSFontFace to ARW. Basically, this is a userland exploit that is working on the PlayStation 4 and the PlayStation 5. And what we have seen is that now we're able to run this on a PlayStation 4 11.02 with a kernel exploit. So we can see that Dr.Yenyen had posted up this video showing this working, and as of today we now have the full source code for this, so we can go ahead and set this up ourselves and go ahead and kick the tires, which is what we're going to do in this episode. So let's switch over to GitHub and give it a shot. Okay, so if we head over to NT Fargo and then CSSFontFace-exploit, you can see that the repo is going through a bunch of different changes right now. So we can see there's been a number of different commits. Now the ones that stands out is obviously where they merged main. Most of that happened yesterday by UFM42. Now if we head back over to the project here and we scroll down just a little bit, what we can see is that it states WebKit CSS font face exploit for the PlayStation 4 and the PlayStation 5, and the vulnerability scope is going to be on the PlayStation 4 6.00 all the way up to 13.52, and for the PlayStation 5 it says 1.00 all the way up to 13.40. Now the one thing to keep in mind here is that this is just the vulnerability scope. What it's actually exploitable in, CSSFontFace goes from 6.00 to 11.02, and for the PlayStation 5 1.00 all the way up to 8.60. Now what is interesting in this repository is that today they already have implemented for the PlayStation 4 the CSS font face going to 11.02, but they also have the kernel exploit chained with it going again all the way up to 11.02. Now obviously there is a couple of different jailbreaks that we can already use for those firmwares, but this one is really nice because it's all just contained within a web browser, so there's no USB drives or anything like that. Now it does state here to add your payload hen of choice in the public source as payload.bin. We're just going to go ahead and scroll back up here to the top, and we're going to go to the code option here, and we're going to take the option to download the zip file. And from here, I just have this over in my working directory here, so I'm just going to take this and we're going to go ahead and extract all, and now we have a folder. So if we go into this folder, we can see that there is a couple of different files in here. So if we go into public and we go into source, this right here is where we need to go ahead and put our goldhen.bin or just the regular hen if that's what you want to use. Let's go ahead and grab goldhen. So I'm going to come over here to ko-fi.com/sistro, and we're going to go over here to where it says shop, and then we're going to see the very latest version here, which is 2.4b 18.10. We're going to click on free, and here you can go ahead and donate if you would like to, or you can just put 0 in there. So I'm just going to go ahead and grab this very latest version, and now I'm just going to go ahead and download it. Okay, so I went ahead and opened it up, and again you can see we're in the public source folder here. So we're going to grab the goldhen.bin and just drag and drop it in this folder. And then we're going to come over here and we're going to just rename this to payload.bin. So that looks good right there. So let's go back to the main repo. And from here, you're going to see there is just this host.py. So this is a Python script that you can run. So let's go ahead and come up here to the top and type in cmd. And first off, let's just make sure you have Python installed. So just type in the word Python here, and right there you can see I have version 3.11.9. You can also download that from the Microsoft Store, or just head over to Python and download the latest release. We're going to go ahead and quit back out of that, and so now in order to host this, we're going to run Python and then host.py, and now we'll just press enter, and then right there you can see it states that we are running the server. Now you will need to know the IP address of of your local machine. And so what you can do is just come over here and do an IP config. And I can see that this one is running at 10.0.0.59. So we can go ahead and test this before we get to our PlayStation by going to the IP address /public here and then pressing enter. And you should see this screen right here if everything is working. Now, obviously nothing is going to happen here because this is running the desktop version of Firefox. But at least if you see this page, you should be able to go ahead and pull this up from your PlayStation 4 as long as you are connected on the same network. Okay, so I just booted up my PlayStation 4 here, and this one is actually running an older version, and this one is on 9.00. So from here, let's go ahead and you're going to want to make sure that you already are connected to your home network here. So if we come up and we go over to where it says network here and we go to set up an internet connection, you can see I'm already added in with a LAN cable. Now, if you do come in here, just make sure that you use these same sort of settings here. So we're going to make sure, at least on the DNS settings, it's set to manual. And right here, I'm just still using one of the older DNS because it does seem like it is still working. So just make sure that you have either this DNS in there or Earth Onion's new IP address, and I'll put that in the show notes below. Now, once you have all of that running, you're going to want to go over to your internet browser, and we're going to navigate over to the 10.0.0.59/public. And then right here, you're going to see that the security of the page cannot be confirmed. The certificate provided by the server is invalid. And do you want to display the page? We're going to come right over here to yes and press X on this and give this just a second here. So it just says that it finished caching and it says auto jailbreaking. And then we see there is not enough free system memory. So let's hit OK on that and give it just a second again. And you can see by default it picked lapse, and so right there we go. It is processing everything. There it finishes up, and booyah! We have got GoldHen version 2.4 running on this 9.00 machine. And well, this time we absolutely did not need any sort of USB drive or anything like that. Now let's examine a little bit of the output here. We can see that we could have switched this between net control and or lapse. There was the jailbreak button that we pressed, and then right over here there is quite a bit of a log. So we can see we've got a userland there with a UAF achieved, and then found the UAF font face, and then we get some of the different addresses going down through here. We can see it ended and now registering CPU set, and there is where lap starts, so we can see the environment and it started. And if we scroll on down into this, we can see the race worker where it initiated the ARW, or the arbitrary read write. We can see where it spawned, and then environment setup complete, and a bunch more information regarding the client and so forth. And we'll just go ahead and scroll back on down into this, and we can see at the very bottom it says end. So from here I have got GoldHen loaded, so I can just come right over here to GoldHen, and right there it is in all of its glory. And we could again come over here to settings, and I think I've got debug showing. So there we go. We got debug settings here, and so we can install packages and all kinds of stuff in there. So anyways, very, very cool to see this sort of work and development happening. And I will definitely be following this project in case we start to see something over on the PS5 side. But anyways, that's going to do it for this one. Thank you so very much for watching, and I'll see you on the next one. Michael